Shabbat Shalom. It's Ruben Abramov, also known as the Haftorahman. And I wanted to thank Rabbi Schneier, Rabbi Bronstein, Nathaniel Hershtig, our Chazan, also the Maestro Chaimov with the Hamptons Choir, and of course, the President, Carol Levin. And in proper tradition, if we can't be there physically, we could be there spiritually and emotionally. And this week's Haftarah is a doozy. So I'll share with you for a couple of minutes. It comes from the book of Amos. In English, Amos. Yes, he's the original famous Amos. And he was a shepherd, and he lived in a town called Tekoa. And he was a Navi, he was a prophet, and he lived in the time right in between King David and the destruction of the temple. So things have begun to unravel as a nation, and he's calling out to everybody to be wise and be smart about what you're doing. The Haftarah begins with, well, let's just say a handful. It starts out by saying, Hare atem kivnei kushiyim atem. And that's like, whoa, how am I going to tell people that in English? Halo kivnei kushiyim atem. Which, at first glance, doesn't sound politically correct. However, when you start to delve into it, you'll see that it means to God, you are like this bronze. Kushim were the Ethiopians. You're this bronze-colored skin nation. What does that mean? The frame of reference is that they're physically beautiful. Like when you go to get a suntan, you think you look better. So the Navi is saying, the prophet is saying, you are like physically beautiful people. Or the second commentary is, God will be able to identify you. When you go into exile, it's like you'll see the pepper amongst the salt. So God will be able to retrieve his nation. The third explanation is you sin so much that your souls are blackened. So there's three different explanations. Okay, now what do we do? Well, the Haftarah goes on to say, listen, rid yourself of the negative energy of idol worshipping other deities, and use your time correctly by worshiping me. And if you do, I'll restore you back into the land of Israel, which you will never be removed. So, what lesson do we learn over here is, we're all at home right now. And while we're home, what is it that we're doing with our time? I remember I once asked somebody to help me with something. He goes, sorry, I don't have time. And I looked at him, I go, let me just tell you something. There's no such thing as you don't have time. In a room full of people, if you could remember that, you have smart people, really smart people, good-looking people, super handsome people, wealthy people, mega rich. Nobody's the same. So then, what is it, the common denominator? And that is that everybody has 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Nobody has a second more, no one has a second less. So now what? There's no such thing as I don't have time. It's, I don't choose to use my time that way. So, with us today, how do you choose to use your time? Are you learning more classes, shiurim, studying Torah, prayers, have more time to pray, doing kind things, calling people up, seeing how they're doing? That is the lesson from this Haftarah for Parashat Kedoshim. Kadosh is holy, and Kadosh also means separate. While we're all separated, it's time to be holy. Shabbat Shalom.